white folks have always been like that. They always turn on America. White folks have all the freedom and they turn so quick. I'm telling you what the truth is. White folks do that kind of crap. Black people are into those working at the White House and stuff. We ain't never sold nothing. We just so loyal, like an old hound dog.
Now, I want to tell you, no matter what anybody says, it ain't going to be no other Democratic candidate. It's going to be Biden, and we better know it.
Once again, this is the Political Brown Kid, and I never lie to you. I always bring you the truth. And the truth may hurt, but it's the truth that you need to hear. And I don't understand, and Paul Mooney says it perfectly. He says it perfectly. Black people are just so loyal. We're like old hound dogs. This must have been something that was bred into us during slavery, or we just been not just slavery, but colonization, period, because Africa was colonized. So black people just all over the United States and all over the diaspora, period, are just so loyal to white people or to America, to whatever European country or Western country that they're in. And when you look in America, I don't know why they're loyal to Joe Biden, who is 81 years of age, and they're willing to vote him in for 4 more years, which means he will be 85. And you can see the decline, the mental decline he went from the time he was 77 to now being 81. So what kind of decline do you think he's going to hit when he goes from 81 to 85 years of age? You're just going to see more and more mental decline. And you're just so happy and loyal to stick beside him. Here you have Maxine Waters justifying sticking beside Joe Biden and willing to ride or die for this man. And she's using the justification that she's older than him. Well, not Nancy, but Maxine, what have you done? And don't you think it's time for you to retire and pass the torch on to someone younger who has a younger or fresher, more progressive vision than yourself? These people were willing to just stay in office as long as they can until they just go to bed and don't wake up anymore. And this is all black people. All black people that I talk to are just so gung-ho to vote for Joe Biden and have such a disdain for Trump. But yet, when you look at the Democratic Party, all of the black people are ride or die for Joe Biden. But you look at the whites and even the Latinos, they're coming out saying Joe Biden should step down. They're defecting. They don't have loyalty. They're looking at this from a more rational standpoint. They're looking at this saying, these are the facts and I have to call a spade a spade. But black people are votes so emotionally that we just are loyal to Democrats for whatever reason. And I keep telling y'all, and they give you nothing in return, but you're willing to vote for them and risk everything and put everything on the line for them. Why are you so loyal to America? I told y'all before in several of my other videos, I did a video to show you that how black people have been complicit in America's atrocities and have helped America become a great country through their atrocities or just through natural, economic gain. Some of this stuff we had no choice in, like slavery, helping making America a powerhouse due to slavery. We had to work. We had to develop rice, tobacco, cotton. We had to do that because it was forced labor and black people lost their lives. But when you look at America committing treason against, the British? When you look at them committing treason and defecting, why were black people helping in that fight? Crispus Attucks, what were you thinking about? What are you doing? What has America given to you? You have to look at the treason, the complicity and how we help in the treason of America. When you look at America as being founded and helping to run the indigenous Americans off of this land, you have to say, well, Buffalo Soldiers, what were you thinking? The Buffalo Soldier, people don't want to talk about this, but the Buffalo Soldiers helped eradicate the indigenous Americans, along with other blacks. Black people fighting in Vietnam, a war that America a senseless war that white people in America wanted to fight. And I'll say this, and I'm going to preface this with Vietnam because I'm going to put an asterisk beside Vietnam. When you have a draft, black people are here, you have a draft, I get it. Those people were forced to fight. So I'm not talking about those people forced to fight. Muhammad Ali, I think, did an admirable thing, and he was willing to go to jail. He said, nobody in Vietnam ever called me the N-word. I'm not going over there to kill another sect of other people for you white people. And he stepped down. But I'm looking at those people who were happy to fight to try to prove to America, because you have a lot of black people, even in World War I and World War II, when you talk about the red tails, they're willing to show America that they can fight. Why are you continually trying to impress white people and they don't care about you? You have black people to this day so proud to be in the military, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, now Space Force. They just want to be a part and be accepted. And they'll do whatever it takes for white people to consider them to be Americans. Meanwhile, you look at white people. Look in these videos that I'm showing y'all. White people, when they don't get their way, they immediately turn against America. You have these white people here breaking into the Capitol, storming the Capitol, because they didn't get their way. Their candidate didn't win. And they went there and they tore the place down. They tore down Congress. They tore it down, bust open windows. They're taking pictures of classified documents, posting them online. One guy in this video says that he took a projectile. I don't know if I can use that other word, but he took a projectile to the face, but he said it was a plastic. They used the plastic projectile. And so it was a non-life-threatening projectile that the military used, or that the Capitol Police use on people who are conducting an insurrection. Meanwhile, let a black person get caught in a traffic stop. He's going to catch a metallic projectile, probably from a 9mm, from a .45 caliber. He's going to catch something serious, all because he's doing something. He just got caught in a traffic stop, and he may have not totally cooperated. I don't make this stuff up. It was a black guy in South Carolina. I know y'all will probably remember this, probably like early 2019, 2018. The South Carolina police officer told him to put his hands up. As soon as he put his hands up, the police officer put 3 or 4 projectiles in him. And then the black guy said, well, what did I do? He said, well, I thought you were going to do something. He said, you told me to put my hand. And then the black guy apologized to the police officer for the guy shooting, for the guy putting a projectile in him. I don't make this stuff up. The black guy literally apologized for the white guy firing upon him. Meanwhile, you have these people breaking into the Capitol, and you can see the Capitol Police just not even touching them. They're just letting them go about and do whatever it is that they're doing. There were very few people harmed. And I know a bunch of you white people who listen to my channel who shouldn't be here in the first place, but I know y'all listening here and y'all are saying, well, there were some white people that got offed, that got sent to the netherworld when they invaded the Capitol. It was very few. You look at how many people broke into that Capitol and versus how many people lost their lives. And you should say, there should have been, all of them people should have lost their lives. It was a black female. There was a black female. Y'all probably don't remember this. And I want to say she had a baby in the backseat of the car. She ran her car. I don't know whether she was having a mental episode. I don't know what she was going through. I can't recall the facts. But she drove her car into one of the pillars. If you're familiar with the DC area and if you're familiar with the Capitol building has a bunch of concrete pillars, round concrete pillars going around it. They're probably around 5 feet, 4 feet high, 5 feet high, but there's no way you can drive a car through those pillars. And they have pillars going all around the Capitol. She hit one of the pillars with her car, and the Capitol Police lit her car up and offed her. Her baby was in the car. She's no longer with us, thanks to the Capitol Police. Meanwhile, there was an elderly white gentleman who had one of these little helicopters. It's probably about the size of I don't know. It's not a big helicopter. It looks like one of these little homemade helicopters that you just sit in. It's about the size of a surfboard, but it has a propeller on it. And he flew that from wherever I don't even know where he came from, but I'm just trying to figure out, how did they not detect this helicopter in the air when it entered the airspace of Washington? You can't fly things in DC airspace without them knowing about it and without it getting. If you don't respond, you get shot down. And he flew that thing and landed on the Congress on the lawn. He got past the pillars. All he got was arrested and probation. This was years ago. Got to look it up. I just remember this stuff from memory. I told y'all, even though I'm 45, I'm a walking history because I pay attention to stuff. And then you have these people breaking into the Capitol, and all they get is, they're looking for Nancy Pelosi, and I'm pretty sure they didn't want to give her a hug and a kiss on the cheek and tell her what a good job she's doing. And they're looking for her. I want to say they defecated on her desk. I know they defecated at her house in San Francisco in her driveway. These are the things that they do, but yet they don't get touched. They get plastic projectiles. Once again, why are you loyal to the Democrats and to Joe Biden? Joe Biden, there should be more calls for this man to just step aside and get out of the race. But yet we have Black people willing to ride or die because we're so loyal, as Paul Mooney said, like hound dog. Y'all need to check out that Paul Mooney special too, by the way. This is probably my favorite Paul Mooney special. It's called, what is this special called? Paul Mooney. I actually own it. I forget the name of the special, but just look up Paul Mooney, IMDb, and it's probably one of his, it came out, I think, early 2000s or late 1990s. Absolute genius comedy special. Very funny, but also filled with a bunch of facts. Paul Mooney, that's the one thing that Paul Mooney's going to do. He drops a bunch of facts on you, and he's also like Nostradamus. That's why he called himself Negrodamus, because everything he says comes true. He told y'all that white people going to take you. They took James Brown, but gave him back. They took Michael Jackson, took Mariah Carey. He tells you that. And then they came and took Halle Berry. They still taking Black people to this day. They done took Zendaya. They took Tandiwe Newton. Now they taking Carmine Jogo. They're taking all the light-skinned Blacks. That's what they do. Or the pretty Blacks. The very pretty. That's what they do. I don't make this stuff up. And Paul Mooney definitely is a comic genius. So once again, stop being loyal, people. Do you. Look out for your best interests. Look out for the best interests of your people, and that's Black people. Once again, this is the Political Brown Kid. I'm out of here.